Hey everyone, it's me Harry, and today is day 13 of my Mediavent calendar. And today we're going to take a look at Sega Saturn games. Yes, I have a Sega Saturn. It's in my sister's room at the moment, but I do own one, and it is a really pretty cool console. So today we're going to do, well, none other than Saturn games in this section. So I'm going to start off with, and they're all going to be in release date order like I did with my Dreamcast video game collection video that I did yesterday. So let's start off with Theme Park from Bullfrog Productions and Electronic Arts. So this was released on October the 30th, 1995, as far as I know, or November, yeah. Because most release dates for Saturn games haven't really been verified. And the problem with Saturn games in the UK is that they come in these really cheap-looking cases that have plastic and cardboard on them. So the manual always falls down and the disc doesn't stay in enough. But yeah, this is a console port of the MS-DOS game from Bullfrog Theme Park. It's an okay one. It's similar to the PlayStation version in a way. Next up is a real classic, Rayman, developed by UB Studios and published by Ubisoft also released on October the 30th, 1995. So it came out a couple of weeks after the PlayStation version, which is the best-selling PS1 game in the UK. And it came out a little while after the Jaguar version, and I think before the MS-DOS version. There we go, here's the disc, and then here's the manual. You get what I mean with the disc. Next up is Virtua Fighter 2, developed by Sega AM2 and published by Sega. I don't have Virtua Fighter 1, and I don't have the remix version yet, but I do know Virtua Fighter 1 isn't a very good game on the Saturn compared to its arcade counterpart, and I heard this is actually a pretty good port of Virtua Fighter 2 from the arcade. This one's really hard to get out. If I can even get it out, that is. There we are. Golly. That was really hard to get out. There's the disc, and then there's the manual. Yep, it's a first-party Sega title, so of course it will have quite a lot of stuff on there. Next up is The Road and Track Presents The Need for Speed, the first ever game in the now popular Need for Speed series. Well, back then it wasn't. It was just a tie-in to the Road and Track magazine before Electronic Arts made it into its own thing. Developed by EA Canada and published by Electronic Arts. This is the Saturn version, and it comes in packaging that most Saturn games from Electronic Arts use, because yep, they made their own packaging that's a bit like a VHS cover. And it has space for 2 discs, and it's got Electronic Arts name embossed onto the plastic, and then on the side it's got their old Shapes logo on it. Pretty cool, actually. The EA games use this kind of packaging. It does, as I said, it reminds me of VHS tape packaging. Next up is Buster Move 2 Arcade Edition, published by Acclaim, developed by Taito, and this is sort of an expanded version of Buster Move 2, because the PS1 version, which was a port of the arcade game, was just that. Was the Saturn version and the MS-DOS version included some extra levels that from the 2X version of Buster Move 2. So this came out on August 28th, 1996. Well, I forgot Need for Speed came out on 5th of July, 1996, and Virtua Fighter 2 January 26th. So this is, as I said, once again, it's a port, but it has some extra content that the PS1 version doesn't have. And it has an ad for Frank Thomas Big Hurt Baseball. So it's got an ad for a baseball game on the back that later became the All-Star Baseball series. Next up is Chaos Control, developed and published by Infogrames Multimedia. So this is a shoot 'em up that was originally released on the Philips CDI, and then it had a port on the Sega Saturn. That's a port of Chaos Control Remix, a Japan exclusive version of the game. It was published by Virgin Interactive. So this came out in September of 1996, but there's no exact release date of it. It's a very basic shoot 'em up. And if you like that genre, then you'll like that game. Next up is Tunnel B1, developed by Neon and published by Ocean Software. Released on October the 16th, 1996. So this came out a little while after the PS1 version, which was the original version of the game, whilst this is a port of the game. So here's the disc, and then here's the manual. Looks cool. So, and as we know, there was supposed to be a Saturn port of Viper, but that never came to be because the game was delayed so much, and it came out on the PS1 instead. Next up, Sonic 3D Flicky's Island, developed by Traveller's Tales and published by Sega. This is a really good, this is a pretty fun game, actually. Like, it still has some of the flaws that the Mega Drive version had, but it does have a lot of fixed up stuff. Like, the music is awesome. One of the first games composed by Richard Jacks, who later composed the music for Sonic R. And it has different, and has a different manual packaging style. Pretty cool, actually. Next up is another one of my favourites, although pretty difficult. Spot Goes to Hollywood. Another PS1 to port. Developed by Burst Studios and published by Virgin Interactive in February of 1997. This came out on February the 14th, 1997. Keep forgetting now. I don't have the manual for this one, I just have the disc. But still, bright red disc that matches Cool Spot himself. The original mascot for 7-Up, but 7-Up's not mentioned in the game at all. And then last but not least is Sonic Jam, which came out on October the 28th, 1997, developed by Sonic Team and published by Sega. So this is a compilation of the first 4 Mega Drive Sonic titles, and it also has a 3D section called Sonic World, which was the prototype of Sonic Adventure, when it was originally a Saturn game before moving to the Dreamcast. This was actually the first Saturn game I got when I got my Sega Saturn in 2015. And it was worth it, because the game is pretty expensive nowadays. I don't know why, but just getting video games back in 2015 and or so was a lot more fun than getting them now, because of the fact they've gone up in price. Mostly. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and see you next time for another installment of my Mediavent calendar. I might as well take a look at some more DVDs next time, so there you go. See you later, everyone, and bye for now.